reason why. And you'll have to answer to all of the people who were affected by Trump's win and his.
Will we really, though? Like, will we? We're going to have to answer. I mean, because you don't seem to have to answer to us when we call you all out. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you'll choose to do so on this one occasion. You know, seldom you do. You know, people in your position, people who are, I'll be more specific, white, who call themselves left-leaning, leftist, Democrat, what have you. And do what you just did in the beginning of that video. Because maybe the middle of the video, after you let, I believe her name is Amy Chen, say her piece about why she's not going to vote for Biden, even if that means that, you know, Trump is more likely to win. In the middle of your video, you listed all of these different things that we would have to answer for, you know, and we'd have to go on this, you know, political tour, this campaign around the country, telling people why we didn't vote for Biden and why we allowed Trump to win, telling, you know, the healthcare, this, that, and the third, telling this, that, and the third, all these other situations that specifically were tailored in ways that don't seem to encompass Black people. And what I mean by that is nothing you mentioned was a specific thing that hurts the Black community. Now, I've only got 8% left on my phone, so I'm going to have to be somewhat brief with this. But you didn't list a single Black issue. You didn't list police brutality. I was waiting. You didn't list police brutality. You didn't list the prison industrial complex. And the fact that there are the 80% of the prison population in America is Black people. Nonetheless, we make up, 13% of the population in the country. So how the hell do we fill up the jails in the world that take up 25% of its population? We hold 25 or more percent, actually it's more now, of the world's prison population in America. So somehow Black Americans make up 80% of the world's, 25%, a quarter of the world's prison population. But that was not one thing you mentioned in your shit. You didn't mention education, Black history, and how they're taking it out of schools, and the fight to, you know, do what's right. You know, in that regard, you didn't mention the book bans. You didn't mention anything that affects Black people, reparations, like not one issue. The debated issues and the non-debated issues. So it's just like, it's weird to me that you just kind of said the quiet part out loud, because you just let us know that you all want us to continue to do for you without doing anything for us. And then you disguise that or dismiss that accusation by claiming that this is for us, that what you're asking us to do, to vote for you, is for us. And it's not. You know it's not. You know the reason that you couldn't list anything that, you know, would affect the Black community when you were listing all these things that we would have to apologize for, you know, ruining the chances of getting fixed or whatever, because you were listing everything that Biden has done for the community. And the only thing that I will say Biden has done for the Black community in all of this time, after he had that leaked audio of him, you know, condemning and admonishing the Black civil rights leaders in the community, or at least who they recognized as such, you know, for, you know, basically expecting him to do something for Black people and the Black community now that he, you know, was president. The only thing he did is enact an anti-lynching law, I believe, back in 2022 or 2021, a year and a half after he put the Stop Asian Hate bill into effect, and also gave reparations to the Asian community. So he gave reparations to the Asian community to the tune of $49.5 million. Look it up. Federally to the Asian community. That's not to mention different states that were giving reparations to the Asian community themselves, like New York or New Jersey, that gave $12 million to their particular Asian population on top of the federal aid or reparation. So we don't get reparations. We get a half-ass anti-lynching law that, should have been passed, I don't know, maybe around the time of the guy who it's named after, the kid who it's named after, Emmett Till. Maybe that's when we should have gotten that, sometime around civil rights, era, when we fought for our rights and everybody else's. But, I digress, I guess. I mean, it's just crazy to me. It's just like, you're condemning people who have decided what they're going to do with their vote. Voting, having the right to vote does not necessarily mean that you always vote. If the candidates are not candidating, if they're not candidating, well then, babe, no one gets the vote. That's what you all don't seem to be understanding. We are accustomed to being at the bottom of the boot of racism. And that's a dirty ass boot. Let me tell you. Even the soles of that shoe are dirty on the inside. So Trump being back in office, one, we lived through it once, we can live through it again. And two, you all are the ones who have not done what you were supposed to do to get him out of office. As Democrats, if you're claiming the Democratic Party, which I don't, even though I do lean more left, you all are the ones responsible for this because you did not, one, get a viable enough Democratic option up for election coming this next year. You also did not, I forgot what I just said. Hold on. I forgot what the other thing I was going to say was, but I'm at 3% now, so my phone's probably going to die. So, whatever. But you all are to blame for that. At the end of the day, this is not anything other than you all not listening to your constituents. The Democratic Party is not listening to their constituents. You know how many times I've called to speak to my representatives, this, that, and the third, since COVID? No one has ever, since before COVID, no one has ever returned a call to me. You know what I'm saying? We can't get in contact with our representatives. We don't know those people. Those people are like celebrities to us. That's how little we have the ability to contact them. But you want us to vote for these people and they get in office and they act a fool. Tuh.